Superman!
Do you remember the Jordan era of the NBA? Probably not, if my analytics are any indication. Christ, I'm old. Anyways, way back then, everyone and their mother was a Bulls fan. I mean, people who never even looked at a game had some form of paraphernalia. But as soon as MJ retired, those Bulls fans turned and said, "Nah, I was a Jordan fan." Ladies and gentlemen, that's what this...
Do a video first. Everyone cheer. Let's go.
is.
America. I just checked my follow and listen. You motherfuckers owe me. Get your money, black man. Black man. Get your money, black man. Black man. Get your money, black man. Black man. Get your money, black man. Get down.
Hey fam, welcome to Jay Explains. Blexit, amongst other things. You know what, I just know I'm gonna call the Blexit in the title because it's new and fun to say. I'm Jay, and I know you may be feeling some kind of way with the Jordan-Trump comparison, but hey, hear me out, because Trump is Jordaning the red team right now. But do you really think that's going to translate into any true breakthroughs in urban America? Now, let's be fair here. Trump has done some really good things. On paper, the numbers are great. He's been offering pardons to the living and the dead, designated MLK's place of birth a national landmark, and he's really extended an olive branch towards trying to build some type of public bridge between himself and the supposedly black community. It's important to recognize that. But the problems at the core of the black community have to be addressed at the local level in those communities. Donald Trump won't bother with these areas, namely because he doesn't have to. But more importantly, political lines were here long before Trump, and they will be here well after. That local blue team control is virtually unsurmountable because of how deep and ingrained the programming in these spaces can be. Don't believe me?
I don't care about that. Y'all don't live here. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't live here, bro.
You know what? You can be honest in my comment section. Would you really want such a person as a neighbor? That's why I can guarantee a great chunk, I'm not putting a number on it, of the faces at the TBLC are from or moved to predominantly Caucasian spaces, which more often than not are overseen by the red team. Yet, like I've said in multiple videos, these lines have been finely drawn out for centuries with measures like gerrymandering. But no matter what, red team gives the blue team all the turf and money they need in order to produce those of the temperament that fine gentleman displayed. People who make more money in a day than you'll make in your life need that guy and the millions others just like him, because he's gonna go to jail eventually. If not for that, then something else. And the chaos his energy creates in the environment that he habitates reverberates to the delight of the investment and stockholder class. We aren't ideologically bound on this show. Liberalism, conservatism, red team, blue team, our beef is with the establishment. I'm elected as a Dem simply because it's who hold local reins. Plus, urban Republicans are fire and brimstone religious fanatics in my experience. Talking to them is like going to church and not one of the fun ones.
Everything is the devil to you, mama! Well, I like school, and I like football. And I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good. And by the way, Mama, alligators are ornery because they're medulla oblongata. And I like Vicky, and she likes me back. And she showed me her boobies, and I like them too.
If these guys are serious, then that'll change. They'll be in urban communities, fighting for candidates that look to institute better policies and a more productive path for these areas. Kanye kicked an independent a few dollars. Nice start, but I'm talking about the Brandon Tatums, Anthony Logans, and Candace Owens of the lot. The latter of the three was already covered on this channel and shown to be nothing more than an opportunist. Look, this is very powerful political theater, but political theater nonetheless. If the walkaway campaign and Blexit, it really is fun to say, don't recognize all politics are local and dig in or chip in at that level, then all this past weekend did was put a few dollars in a few pockets and make President Trump look like Jordan, ensuring his re-election goes even more smoothly than it already looks to. 6 years is a long time. Hell, 6 minutes can be an eternity under dire circumstances, and if we look up and gerrymandering is no longer a thing, poverty rates in these areas are addressed, and there is a gigantic shift in the culture, then we'll happily say something like, good job, Walkaway or Blexit. But until then, it's nice try, Tony Kukoc and Scottie Pippen. We've always maintained politics is a team sport, and no matter how you feel about President Trump, Blue Squad has no one that can overtake 50 plus years in the public eye in a single or even 2 election cycles. Yet, what isn't fully acknowledged is that Trump isn't a traditional, fiscally responsible conservative, and there is a strong case that he isn't conservative at all. Dude is running up the bill, make no mistake, but the media is so fixated in making a fool out of the man and labeling a capitalist that clearly only cares about money into the ultimate evil that which drives clicks and gets ratings, but only serves to further divide instead of seek actual understanding. There's an entire election industry that feeds off the false hope that our political dividing lines create, the invisible lines that foster essentially multiple Americas, where the given populace is saturated in political and religious dogma, particularly in the urban zones, where emotional control is allowed to go buck wild and chaotic energy reigns supreme, which is why I maintain doubts as to the true and tangible results all of this will eventually bring. I am the official elected official and fight that energy all the time. Hopefully, we'll see these guys in the trenches. It's funny, right now there's a ginormous caravan of migrants walking towards our southern border, escaping the same conditions they are likely to find themselves here in the US. Granted, poverty is nicer with the toilet, it's still poverty, and instead of migrating, they should hold their local governments accountable, and those of us here in America could stand to do the same. Granted, the best parts of this country is that it's so vast and there are so many different styles of governance that a change of fortune is just a plane ticket away, but home is home. Well, that's about it. Thanks so much for putting up with me. Please do all the internet stuff. Like, sub, share, speak. Am I being too critical of this? Do you really think someone can look to expose children's private information to the internet and be taken seriously? That's what the comments are for. Menendez is having a rally in Irvington, so yay, content! See you guys at that video, and until then, love.
It's suicide! You've seen him, you know how strong he is.